Welcome everybody to finally another Join Dota League game for the Hefla TV. Yes, it is a two-game, or no, not a two-game series anymore, so used to that one. It is a best of three instead. 5 EVA going up against MVP Hot 6 in the Division 1 and 2 playoffs, the upper bracket for it. We're of course, as already said, Hefla TV, I'm Coucher, and I'm going to be joined by Mike Lawrence today. How you doing?
Oh man, feels like forever since I've casted anything, but this should be a good one. Hot Six just went through a reshuffle. That's why you see Jerax. That's why Heen and I believe Forev were also on the other MVP team previously, but they shuffled the two teams together, added some people apparently, and now they're actually trying to get into Season 1 direct or Division 1 directly. And going through 5 EVA, it's going to be a pretty hard challenge, but if MVP's players are at all up to snuff, then I think it's very possible for them to break through.
Yeah, it's actually those two teams last met each other on the 11th of March for the Summit 3 qualifiers. And 5 did lose that best of 3 series 2-0 straight out, so going by that, MVP Hot 6 definitely the roster shuffle seems to have worked somewhat. Then again, I think ever since 5 was kind of made, they've really been lackluster in their performance. I think First Departure did slightly better, but they also peaked at qualifying for the Summit 2 and then being unable to attend. So I don't know, just 5 really hasn't been that impressive to me. But looking at the draft here, really I haven't seen some sophistication Dota for quite some time either, and I guess bans not that all out of the ordinary. Naga Siren against Miracle is like a given ban for most teams.
Yeah, just a little bit of respect there. I personally think that that might be a little bit too much respect. The strength of Naga Siren is kind of low, considering even though Miracle, artificially brings it up a little bit higher. I think it's a little bit too much. Although, to be fair, personally have never played against Miracle Siren. I don't exactly know how impressive it is playing against that. It's a fair enough ban, I would say. And 5 EVA, they're not going to grab the Axe. They're going to grab the Batrider as their first. Vengeful Spirit's still in the pool. So, though it is going to provide 5 EVA with that guaranteed initiation sometimes, some other times it's going to get instantly swapped out, and then your initiation goes to hell.
So we'll see if MVP Hot 6 will go for the tier or not. The Vengeful there, I guess some teams even like something like a Disruptor, for example, although I don't think it's half as good as a Vengeful Spirit or half as reliable for the most part. It's just because Batrider gets a BKB and suddenly you can't do anything about that lasso. But other heroes that could be picked up, Shadowfiend is at the moment still rather popular as well if they want to go for that one. Other than that, Lion in the pool, maybe on a Nerve Shaker, something like that.
Or Scarith Mage, I suppose, is also a decent one. I mean, there's nothing really preventing Scarith Mage from being a first pick. It's just there are usually heroes that do their jobs a little bit more efficiently than Scarith Mage does his. This is, I would believe, a kind of pseudo ban. You don't really want to have the enemy team get Batrider, Scarith Mage. The burst combo and the guaranteedness of those kills is a little bit too high. So I have a feeling that's a little bit of where the Scarith Mage is coming from. Usually you want a reason to pick up Scarith Mage, and blocking it out from the Batrider Scarith Mage combo of your enemies and comboing up with the Clockwork is a pretty good reason.
Definitely not bad. Although Scarlet Mage maybe isn't as popular anymore, the burst damage is definitely still there. Yes, the ultimate is a little bit weaker, so it's a little bit easier for you to run out of that and not take as much damage during it. But like I said, in combination with the Clockwork, gonna be excellent. The one downside to the Clockwork is that Batrider, for example, can just Firefly his way to safety from there. He will still get pushed back by the Cog, so it's a little bit of extra damage, but usually, at least if it's a Clockwork by himself, solo killing a Batrider shouldn't really be possible unless you catch him with his Firefly on cooldown or him being out of mana completely. As 5 Eva now, they go for a Disruptor. It is pretty nice, hookshot in by Clockwork and suddenly glimpse him back. It can definitely work out. Kinetic Field Static Storm is also nice if you can place them correctly, but I really haven't seen all that much Disruptor in general. I mean, are they going to combo more with it?
He's usually a little bit more of a third or fourth pick, and again, he's usually more of a response pick. If the enemy team picks up a bat or an IO that we just see banned out, then Disruptor gets a lot better. I don't really know if I like Disruptor here this early for 5 EVA. It's occasionally banned out Disruptor. He's very good against the heroes that 5 EVA are banning out, which is kind of questionable. Like, why would you ban out, or why would you take this really hard counter to some of these heroes, Storm Spirit, IO, and then just not enable the enemies to pick them up anyway? I don't know if MVP really wanted to pick those heroes, but Disruptor, Batrider are both good against Storm and IO, so I would say 5 EVA, though the Disruptor pick is justifiable, the follow-up bans are kind of weird. Like, you would expect one or the other, not both.
It really is weird, and maybe they know a little bit. Well, they definitely know more, I think, of MMP Hot 6 than I do, so maybe just heroes that they are really comfortable with playing. And although a hero can counter them pretty nicely, it's not like a 100% counter by any means, so maybe they just don't want to take the chance. But for 5 Eva, do you think we might see a. Well, I guess them having the Batrider means that the Darkseer isn't as valuable anymore unless you wanted to run it like full-time jungle or something, but I just like to see Darkseer. And when I say Disruptor, it's just good old Vacuum Static Storm combination.
And the combos can get really sick. Like, not only with just the Darkseer, but anyone. Like, if I've ever have plans on picking up any other team fight heroes, like even just a Queen of Pain, just Sonic Wave to, do a lot of damage while you have 2 or 3 heroes stuck in that kinetic field, that could instantly win you a fight. And with Batrider to start all of that off, that's not too unfeasible to actually see. I want to say that Batrider is just going to go towards the off lane. It is still possible for him to go towards other areas of the map. Mid lane Batrider is still possible, though not really probable. Most of the team fight, I want to say, comes from offlaners nowadays, and that Darkseer and that Phoenix especially. So, or that Shadow Fiend. I guess I missed that one, but yeah, it's possible that 5 wanted to go for that. But I don't know. This Disruptor kind of needs someone to work off of. Otherwise, Disruptor just by himself, I mean, he could do decent work with that glimpse, especially if you're glimpsing back someone soft like a Shadow Fiend. But it can be picked up later, I think. Batrider Juggernaut would have been a opening that I would have rather liked to see from 5 Eva.
Yeah, I still like the Juggernaut in general for them as well, even if it did come out a little bit later, but it's just the fact that if you do have the Disruptor, it just means that Shadow Fiend going for a BKB is going to be a little bit more valuable for him. Now though, even when you have the BKB activated, I've just seen so many games in general played out like enemy core pops his BKB, suddenly gets Omni Slashed and dies anyway. That's just how it happens so very often. So Shadow Fiend, although you kind of need the BKB against the Disruptor, there's still going to be Lasso to go through it. There's still going to be Juggernaut Omni Slash to kill you just through physical damage. So I think 5 Eva, they have a reasonable mix so far. As MVP, they go for a Lycan now. Lycan is also a hero that I think is a little bit on the rise as far as how often he gets picked up in the recent weeks or so. But is the Lycan strong enough for... I suppose it being like a dual core kind of setup, it might be just fine.
Yeah, Lycan Shadow Fiend actually synergize together pretty well. Usually your cores don't really do that. It's one core does their thing and the other core does their own thing as well. But Lycan does provide some frontline for the Shadow Fiend. Clockwork does that as well, just through his naturally tanky body, combined with those cogs. And when you're talking about killing off someone like a Juggernaut, then Shadow Fiend, if he gets into that man fight, as you said before, probably not going to win. But if Lycan gets into that man fight with presence of the Dark Lord backup, then unless Juggernaut is insanely farmed and Lycan is flat broke, then I don't really know if Juggernaut's going to be able to win that race. Yeah, he'll have Batrider Disruptor to help out, but MVP will have a lot of ways to assist as well. So I'm actually liking this from MVP. They have a lot of physical damage with their lineup, and though they are on the Radiant side, their Roshan Ing potential is pretty darn high.
Yeah, one thing, of course, they are up against a Batrider, and with the Firefly, it's so easy to just disrupt Roshan's. But one thing also that Lycan does bring to the table is additional units that may soak up just easy Omni Slash hits from the Juggernaut, so definitely not too bad there as 5 Eva, about 1 minute left on the clock for them. What heroes do you see them picking up? I mean, they need an additional support. Lion, for example, still in the pool as well. Hex maybe not as great against the Lycan as it may be up against other cores, because if you have the Shapeshift, the Hex does not slow your movement speed, you're still going to be running just full speed. But for now, going for a Medusa, so they themselves have some pretty sick late game now, but Medusa, it's just a matter of how much will she actually help the team early on.
Yeah, usually that answer is not that much at all. I would have expected the secondary support pick from 5 Eva, since both teams now are looking for that last support, Lion Venge, probably going to be at a premium. But that scenario that I described before of Shadow Fiend, Lycan versus Juggernaut no longer really applies here, as with 5 Eva's pickup of the Medusa, looks like both teams are a little bit more okay with playing a little bit of a slower game, especially 5 Eva, as Medusa just can't do anything early on. But MVP, they have a draft that turns on a little bit sooner than 5 Eva. Lycan, Shadow Fiend don't really need that much if they're going to be pushing your towers. and Scarith Mage, of course, does a lot of damage to back that up. So MVP most likely are going to be the ones on the aggressive in this game. It's probably not going to be a lot of aggression, but it is going to be, I think, enough to make this Medusa's life a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. And 5 even running out a change to make sure that they really don't have or get off to too great of a start for MVP Hot 6 there. Of course, now with them running a Lycan, is this a game for like a Shadow Fiend mech going a little bit more into utility and trying to just execute that early kind of pushing style, or does it just depend on their laning phase, how much farm they get, and just see from there if it's even worthy to go for like a utility or whether you have to commit full time into a core?
I think this is actually a pretty decent time to go for that mech if they have the game plan that suits it. And with the Vengeful Spirit pickup, it looks like they can play this fairly aggressively. Venge, Scarith Mage can roam around and kill everyone off. It's what they do. If you have that mech, then together with the Lycan's ability to push, you'll be able to take these fights a lot earlier than 5EVA, who, if you look at their draft, so far no one on their team is going to be building a similar item to mech. And I think that's going to be Blink Dagger. That's their first big item, but if you're MVP, you're hoping for a level 6 in Clockwork plus that mech on the Shadow Fiend, then you'll be able to, race a Batrider's Blink Dagger lasso pretty darn well. So I like MVP and how they kind of transition their draft into a little bit more of an aggressive lineup. And 5EVA, they've gone full defensive, which is fine. But it's always kind of a dice roll. It's like, can you withstand this aggression? If yes, you probably win. If no, you probably lose.
It definitely is weird a little bit, but 5EVA, at least when they used to be first departure, they did run quite a bit of like 4 protect 1 kind of styles. So at least the players themselves should be rather familiar or comfortable with such a playstyle. And I suppose, apart from the Medusa, the others don't need the crazy amount of farm. It really comes down to how fast can the Batrider get this Blink Dagger. An early Blink may just tip the scales in favor of 5EVA, or at least just balance things out somewhat. But we are in the game. No pauses yet. Hopefully it's gonna remain so, but everybody has picked up their heroes, gonna purchase items, and well, to introduce the lineups, for the side of MVP on the Radiant, Chirax will be handling the Scarif Mage, leaving MP on the Shadow Fiend, Within on the Vengeful Spirit, Forever on the Lycan, and the last one is going to be Sunbi on the Clockwork.
And for 5EVA, Ysera is going to be playing the Batrider going down towards the bot lane. Paulson is going to be playing the mid lane Dusa. Got Chaos on the Witch Doctor, supporting Miracles, Juggernaut up top, along with Chibix on the Disruptor. Mid lane Dusa, certainly not something that is very common, and I think that's with good reason. The hero doesn't do much, she only farms. And that's fine if that's your game plan, but I really am very on the fence with anything but safe lane Medusa.
Well, it's just their lineup didn't really allow for too many other heroes to go into the mid lane though. Juggernaut up against Shadow Fiend, just not the greatest matchup. It's not the worst either, because you can just keep your healing ward at the back lines and hope that it will heal you up. But Medusa should be like safe at all times against Shadow Fiend. As long as you have like even 1 point into mana shield, at least the triple raise should not kill you, and you really never ever should even get hit by triple raise if you're a Medusa.
Yeah, though that is true. Like, she's going to be safe versus the Shadow Fiend. It's very unlikely that she's going to be just 1v1 versus the Shadow Fiend in this particular game. We see the Scarith Mage starting out with boots first, already indicating he wants to be a little bit more aggressive. And as I mentioned before, the Vengeful Spirit Scarith Mage combo is so very good at killing off soft heroes. And though Medusa can get very tanky once she grabs a couple points in that mana shield, when you have a concussive shot into a magic missile, then it's very easy for 2 of those raises to land. And then at that point, you're dealing with a dead Medusa. So she might have a little bit of time to actually get some farm, but I predict in this game the Scarith and Venge are going to be sitting on the mid lane pretty hard.
That's what they should be looking for at least. Maybe early on, a couple of minutes, they're going to just be pulling through and try to mitigate the XP that the Batrider gets. Or just make the Batrider completely go into the jungle. Which, if you're a Batrider, you're not even that worried about it, to be honest. Your jungling is pretty fast. If you compare him to the Clockwork, for example, if the Clockwork gets a horrible lane, there is like almost no way to recover other than hoping to just get some kills with like a set of power cogs, for example, in another lane.
Yeah, I think most of the time Batriders, it seems like their plan is to just go into the jungle. Like, they're going to always test the lane because you might as well. But 9 times out of 10, they end up in the jungle, and MVP, they can't really do that much about it until Clockwork gets to his level 6 mark. Then they could actually, look to make some aggressive plays into the enemy side of the jungle. But until then, they're mostly just going to be sitting on their own side of the map. Ysera doing a decent job at making sure he's not completely crushed in this bottom lane, but while he's spending mana, he's not actually getting that much experience. He's not getting many last hits, so mana spent for not much of anything at all.
It really applies to both sides at the moment. KS as well did go for the first point into Maledict. Doesn't get too many attacks in with this particular one, but even then does force Clockwork back, does force him to use a couple of extra tangos there. So both offlaners, not even level 2 quite yet. Ysera a little bit closer to it, but even then is lacking a little bit of XP for it. And as it is, both safe laners and even mid laners just kind of enjoying free farm for now. Forever even has a Quelling Blade to help with the farming. Juggernaut does lack that one, but if you're really just this safe in farming up, you shouldn't miss last hits even without the Quelling Blade.
Oh, soon be the Clockwork does not have cogs right now. He's going to hit level 2, and now he's on the run. He's going to push back Miracle. However, Miracle does still spin mana. Well, not anymore. Gets hit with second cog. KS, though, going to land a Maledict. Has a cask as well. I don't see a way for Sunbeam to actually escape from this. So it looks like this is going to be First Blood. Question is who's going to grab it. And it's going to be Chibix on the Disruptor. Get a little bit too far out as a Clockwork. And even though he got some pretty lucky bounces with those cogs, it's just not enough when you're in that bad of a position.
I'm not too sure if you can call those bounces lucky or maybe so Miracle just running into them. First one, I don't think it could not have been avoided just because he just hit level 2, popped the cogs immediately. Second one though, Miracle could have spinned immediately to prevent that or just run a little bit longer away, but then again sometimes the animation of the cogs, you would think that you're steering clear of them yet to still get hit somehow. But they do end up with the kill. First Blood. Disruptor can allow himself some boots now. Upgraded Courier as well, I believe. Looking at the mid lane though, completely just neck and neck. Medusa is slightly ahead in just denies, but doesn't really matter all that much.
Yeah, the lane as it progresses gets a lot better for the Shadow Fiend. It's just the first couple of levels when you're lacking the souls and the base damage to actually get those denies, where Shadow Fiend typically struggles. And now that he's past that mark, I mean, he has 36 bonus damage from his passive, so yeah, the Medusa will still be able to sit in this lane until the Skywrath Mage and Vengeful Spirit makes any sort of aggressive play, but yeah, they're just going to be farming it up. So it's a nice little First Blood, 4 or 5 Eva up on the top lane, and Miracle, well, we'll see what build he wants to go for. It looks like he is going to dip a little bit more into the stats, so he's definitely going for the long haul, and as I said before, that's pretty much the game plan of 5 Eva, and MVP, they're not punishing it yet, of course, they have a lot of time until they actually have to punish, but if they let this game progress as is, yeah, they're going to be getting farm, but probably not enough farm to combat a late game Medusa Juggernaut.
Yeah, we both really expected the supports to be rotating a hell of a lot more into the mid lane, just trying to slow down the Medusa. Even if you don't get the kill, at least slowing him down. Oh, bottom lane now, they get the Magic Missile, Concussive Shot to follow as well, a few Arcane Bolts, and that's going to be kind of an easy kill. Even easier than I thought, with just only the supports providing damage into it.
Yeah, that was a pretty deep wraparound, and it is just a level 1 Batrider, though he is, kind of tanky as far as int heroes go. When you're in that bad of a position, then again, there's not much that you could do, and it was a level 1 hero versus 6 levels worth of hero, so I guess numerically that's just not fair for him. Jerax is going to sneak himself into a corner again. They're going to try to go for the Batrider kill pretty much in the exact same way when the Batrider wants to defend his tower. This might actually work out. Ysera, though, oh, he's going to dodge the wave. That means he's hidden for now.
Why do you think that the Batrider even hasn't gone into the jungle? Is it really them trying to leave it to Miracle or the Medusa there? Just because, well, he is level 2 now, so that's nice, but 5 minutes in, being only level 2 as a Batrider is kind of bad in all fairness.
Yeah, it's definitely not where you want to be, but I think the reasoning is right now, the enemies are going to push my tower, therefore my tower is going to get me some experience. And that's not that bad. Suddenly he's level 3 and he's, doing decently enough, but now he can't really sit in this tower if 4EV keeps on, maintaining the creep wave. If he doesn't get, that far, if he doesn't pass this line or anywhere close to there, then the Batrider will still be able to kind of farm it, but otherwise the Batrider is just going to be in too much trouble. So he's going to leave to the jungle right now where he has quite a lot of money waiting for him. 2 stacks in the hard, 1 million in the medium, and well, none where the wolves are because the chances of golems is real. Juggernaut, though, is going to get a solo kill up on top lane. Omni Slash plus a level 1 spin and phase boots to chase down. Not easy to escape from.
Omni Slash is just so good if you can actually isolate the hero somehow. And I do believe the Omni Slash came out just before the creep wave right to the Clockwork. So nicely done by Miracle, getting the right timing in there, getting the kill like that. So it does give them a 1 kill advantage. If you look at the early graphs, It is still about a 700 net worth lead for MVP. XP though completely zeroed out now. So it's definitely anybody's game. Maybe MVP, now that they got the tier 1 down, this is the time for the supports to potentially rotate. Which at the moment, they're still really not doing. Just Jerax literally sitting in the jungle. Now he's starting to move a little bit, but is he waiting for the Batrider to show up? Because he's really just doing nothing but leeching XP.
I think their game plan is probably just going to be straight out push. We just saw the Vengeful Spirit place an Observe Ward right to the left of the bottom lane tier 2 Dire Tower, and that doesn't actually see that much. It sees enemies reinforcing, and you see a little bit of the tower, but that's pretty much it. You don't really place that Observe Ward there unless you have really big plans for that lane, and well, then there's a Lycan in the lane. I could only assume that that big plan is going to be, we're just going to go ahead and push it. So yeah, they're probably just going to push the tower, and if anyone comes to try to defend, I don't think they're going to walk out.
Well, it is still kind of scary, even with that ward being there. Just defending a tier 2 is definitely a hell of a lot easier than just going for the tier 1 defense. But do they have even a big creeper coming? Never mind, there is a smoke. Jerax and Heen, they're on the hunt for the Medusa and Poloson. Well, he does have the ultimate. Can he get it off though?
Magic Missile silenced. There's no flare here, and MP's a little bit far away. Gets one raise off. Can't quite get the second one. Poloson will not die. 24 HP. He gets to live. Mana Shield, 2 Iron Branch value right there. Unfortunately, though, for MVP, that was very weird for a gank. Jerax gonna get glimpsed back. Thunderstruck up. He's gonna turn around and put a little bit of damage into Chibix. Looks like no one is gonna die today. But yeah, they decided to go for it, even though Shadow Fiend can only contribute 1 long raise.
I think the Shadow Fiend could have started running a little bit earlier as well. Of course, most times when the gank is coming, if you start moving a little bit too early, it's just a dead giveaway. The enemy's like, okay, way too aggressive, somebody must be around. This time around though, the supports went in and just really pulled their way through before the Shadow Fiend even started moving. If we only had that second raise, could have been so much easier. Oh, top lane though, Sunbi will go down once again. Miracle, another Omnislash, another Blade Fury. Kill secured, although he's gonna run into MP. There's one Shadow Raise, make it 2 maybe. He's trying to man fight Miracle, he knows there's no escape from those Shadow Raises. And down he will go.
Actually did a lot of damage to that Shadow Fiend. Usually when you're in that situation, you're going to die 100%, and you just accept it. But man, Juggernaut put up a real fight there with that lifesteal, with the Phase Boots damage. It's still okay for the Juggernaut because he got another solo kill on the Clockwork, who is being kept down pretty low, but that's definitely not the play that Miracle wants to be making. Mask of Madness now picked up. This is going to help him escape next time he does that, and it's going to help him farm quite a bit more, but the problem is that they still have this Lycan to deal with down on bottom lane, and we keep saying that MVP aren't punishing 5-Eva that much with 5-Eva's greedy draft. You gotta remember that Lycan, if you let him farm, is going to just completely crush the game by himself, and right now he's doing exactly that. He's farming it up.
Yeah, Lycan, like you already mentioned in the draft, he just comes online, so to say, a hell of a lot earlier than a Medusa does. It's like, first of all, he did go for the Medallion first, so not going for the straight out Vlads. But if you get the Vlads as well, start making your way towards, let's say, Necrobook, suddenly you are just so damn strong for the mid game, and 5-Eva might not have anything to stop it with. Stone Gaze, probably one of the better options, or maybe Lucky Kinetic Field there as well. The one thing that MVP so far are lacking, of course, also is Jerax, not level 6 on the Sky of Mage. Having that Mystic Flare would give them so much extra. Same story with the Clockwork, doesn't have the hook shot, so no easy like hook shot into Power Cogs, into Mystic Flare setups for one easy kill, and when you kill one hero, suddenly so much easier to push as well.
Yeah, that not yet, but that's going to be coming pretty soon, and once MVP have those extra levels to actually get that guaranteed damage off, man, 5-Eva, they're going to actually have to test their defenses, because right now they've been free-rolling the game, but now that there's a mech on a Shadow Fiend, plus that Vlad's on the Lycan, first of all, insane amount of sustain for only 10 minutes in the game. Second of all, that is going to jar 5-Eva quite a bit because they lack their own core items. They have a Mask of Madness on Miracle, as nice as that is. It's not enough. 4-Ev is going to put the hurt onto Miracle down towards bottom. Medallion is there. Miracle is going to try to outrun the Wolf with that Mask of Madness phase boost, and this Juggernaut is quick. He will get out of there safe and sound, but it's just a taste of things to come on this bottom lane. If anyone comes down here alone, they can't really farm up effectively, or else they're just going to be eaten by wolves, and if no one goes down here, then the tower's going to die, so pick your poison, 5-Eva. You're going to have to defend this tier 2 tower sooner or later.
Well, the sooner might not be that far off, because Ysera is about only 400 gold away from finishing his Blink Dagger. And with the Blink, defending a tower should not be that hard, but MVP They don't care about towers now. They're going for another objective, which is the Roshan. They have 1 point into Presence of the Dark Lord, so they have minus 10 armor with the Medallion. And of course, minus 4 in addition from Heen. So this Roshan went down just so ridiculously fast this early into the game. And that's just Shadow Fiend. Easy Aegis, level 11 as well, level 2 Requiem of Souls. Oh god, Chibix top lane. I fear for this Disruptor.
Well, the concussive shot did not connect, so Jarex is down 1 skill for a little while. MP is going to make his way up there, and they're just going to leave the Lycan in the bottom lane to his own devices. They honestly don't even need him to push a tower this easily. They do see someone up on top. It's Chibix in the jungle, although Sinbi... did they see him? It looked like they might have seen him, but either way, they're not going to pull the trigger just yet. Batrider so close to his blink, does not want to engage. He's just hanging around because, well, he feels like he should, but there's nothing he can do for this tower. You don't want to fight here. Medusa, though, going to teleport in along with that Juggernaut. MP's going to channel his Requiem, will land onto pretty much everyone. Gets Glimpse back as well. He wants to use Aegis now. It looks like he will very quickly do so. Miracle off to the side. He's going to get brought down very low just by the 2 supports. Look at his Omni Slash off. Will get the kill on Scarlet Mage. Now we'll get the kill on the Aegis. Miracle will also try to hide in the corner. Sunbi, in the meantime, getting chased down by Ysera. It looks like this Clockwork doesn't have much time left. Death Ward being channeled to finish off MP. Already used his mech. He's going to try to go for the Juggernaut kill, and he will get it before he dies. But at what cost? That's a 1 for 4. And MVP get initiated upon real hard. That Shadow Fiend Aegis didn't seem like it really did much of anything. And KS, okay, that's weird. His Witch Doctor was still dancing, but that's a 1 for 4. And maybe it's going to be a 2 for 4 as Polosan is now going to get dove by Forev, but a little bit late to the party, Lycan.
Yeah, he's still going to get a pretty nice kill, possibly the tower afterwards as well. But the Aegis, you said it didn't do anything. All it did is give MVP a false sense of security, and they really didn't coordinate the fight all that great. Although I do believe in the backlines, Clockwork, before he even got the hookshot or anything off, he got lassoed by the Batrider. And somehow, Clockwork, he was too low on mana, didn't even have enough for a hookshot afterwards. So...
We're gonna kill KS though. It's something.
So in the end, over the past like 2 minutes or so, it is a 3-4-4 exchange, right? So it's not that bad. They got the tier 1 top, they're gonna get the tier 1 mid as well, and Ysera on top of it all as well. Magic Missile to stun him up first, and well, easy follow up after that. So in the end, MVP, yes, they should not have taken a fight like that, but they do recover from it quite nicely.
Yeah, if they could focus their fire, and that's something that they didn't do in the last game, then they should be able to take fights a lot easier. I think the big problem there was Scarlet Mage not having his ultimate. If he did, they would have been able to take out the Juggernaut before he got into his Omni Slash off. Or if Shadow Fiend helped out in that Vengeance Scarlet Mage focus fire, then the Juggernaut would have died. No Omni Slash, no additional damage from Blade Fury or whatnot. So things could have gone a lot easier for the MVP side if they just focused their fire a little bit more effectively. So, you know, maybe next time that's going to happen, but they still take down the tower, and they still have a lot of pushing power so that they could take down even more towers. But for right now, they've taken down all the tier 1s, and the tier 2s, when you have a Lycan with Vlad's and a fresh Necro Book, are very easy to push, and 5-Eva will be prepared for it with the Blink Dagger Lasso, but at the same time, MVP will be prepared with that, with the swap on the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, if the Lycan continues at this pace, it is going to be a pretty damn fast Necro level 3. Usually, if you get like Treads, Vlads, and Necro level 3 by 20 minutes in, it's pretty great. He now has a Medallion on top of that as well. So he's definitely looking to get it at least at 20 minutes in, even earlier, possibly up to another 1k gold. Farming Ancients, so good sometimes. But 5-Eva, they are smoked up as 4. Miracle will be leading the charge, has a level 2 Omni Slash. Ysera has the Blink Lasso. They should at least get 1 kill, but if it's the Clockwork, it's not even all that detrimental for MVP, because Clockwork, he's been dying so many times already as it is.
Well, they might actually get Forev. Looks like he will get spotted. Ysera, blink forward, lasso. Where's the Death Ward? Maledict is there. Death Ward isn't because the wolves are chasing him down. Forev gets to live. He's going to shapeshift off to the side. Hookshot in onto Chibix with the chase down. Battery Assault looks like Chibix will be a casualty here. Magic Missile will get that kill. And the wolves still chasing after Ysera. Here comes the wolf. Now shapeshifted. He's going to go straight for the bat. And that is going to be another kill for MVP. Miracle probably is survivable enough to get out of here if he pops his Mask Madness, has Healing Ward, Omni Slash, all these things to buy time. But MVP, they reinforce, and they reinforce pretty darn well. If you're going to get those kills, then you have to just immediately Death Ward. And I don't think they have enough damage to do that, but it seems like you won't get the kill if you don't even try.
It was a little bit unlucky for him as well, or maybe it was Forev really having nice micro that he didn't set his wolves to attack, which meant that they had invis. If the Wolves had not been in the Invis form, it would have meant the Paralyzing Cast bounces to Forever and into the Wolves back to Forever. Now another Paralyzing Cast will bounce to Heen and back to Forever, as I was talking about. Now Miracle comes in, but the Necrobooks soak up so many bounces. Death Ward there as well, but Requiem of Souls doesn't do anything at all to Miracle. Now Glimpse back, it's only Forever though. They're probably gonna lose the Lycan. Maybe they should just leave him to die.
I think they probably should. He is going to die, and they're going to chase forward for MP. Sarah, though, going to hit with the Magic Missile, Mystic Flare combo. That's going to be a 1-for-1, though. A 1-for-1 5 are happy to make, especially if they get a second one. Miracle is going to chase down this Karath Mage to the best of his abilities. Mask of Madness to disengage, but then Mask of Madness to re-engage. MP gets glimpsed right back into the rest of the double damage rune Medusa. Miracle is probably going to clean up Jerax as the last kill. It's a triple for Polosan, and the Clockwork is awkwardly up on the top lane. 5 Eva crack back pretty darn hard. They're just getting all the chaotic fights up on MVP with the lasso isn't even really doing it for them. It's just the fact that MVP are kind of always unsure of whether to fight or whether to run.
It's really hurting them at the moment. They still aren't looking that bad. They still have about a 2500 Nether fleet, but it could have been 5k or even more had they just taken that fight properly. XP also from 4k back to 0 once again. So, Fiverr, they really do take nice fights, and Juggernaut, even though Ancient Seal is completely screwing him over, for now, he gets silenced, and like we saw now, he just outran the Shadowfiend. Shadowfiend couldn't land a single raise. He didn't even try to go for a raise as bottom lane Forever. Gonna chase down Polosan, trying to TP out, but Medusa, just not gonna happen. So once again, MVP lose a bad fight, Lycan comes in, cleans out the Medusa somehow. But even then, 5 I think they're not doing all that bad. I mean, Medusa has just about the same farm as the Shadow Fiend. Juggernaut is about 1k behind of Lycan, but even that isn't all that much.
Yeah, right now 5 are drawing even with MVP, and that's obviously not exactly where they want to be, but that's probably the worst place where they can be and still feel pretty comfortable with their chances in this game. Lycan is farming up an absolute storm, but Juggernaut is constantly getting these kills, and he's most of the time getting out with his life. They're also going to get a tower deny, so a little bit more gold out of the pocket of MVP, and, well, I mean, it is a tower down for them, and I guess that's nice, and they do have this level 3 Necrobook now up on the Lycan, but 5 Eva, if they keep fighting as a 5-man squad, if they keep stalling out this game, then I think just late game is just going to be theirs. They have the Medusa, who's already holding on to the one ultimate orb. Second one will be coming up pretty soon, I'm sure, and they have a Midas on the Disruptor, so suddenly items like BKB, Mech, Necrobook for MVP are going to not be too useful if Shibix gets an Aghanim Scepter.
I absolutely love that they have 4 Sentries coming out. Oh, Hookshot in the meantime. Miracle does have the Omnislash, but he's just gonna Blade Fury his way to safety. That was a much easier escape than I really anticipated.
But Lasso also going to be snapped. They're going to chase forward anyway. Cast Value, going to permastun Heen and get Sunbi on the retreat as well. They're going to glimpse back MP into a Static Storm where Polosan's on the front lines. He's tanky enough right now. He's not taking that much damage. Requiem is going to be thrown out. Polosan is awkwardly now out of mana, but they're going to chase instead for KS. They'll bring down the Witch Doctor, now looking for that Medusa. They'll kill her off as well. That's going to be a 2-for-1, and it looks like that's going to be just about it. 5 Eva maybe getting a little bit too greedy. Is there a hook shot coming off? No 30 seconds until that one, but man, that looked pretty good 5 Eva after that whiffed initiation for MVP, but gotta remember that Lasso does not play well with Swap.
I think could have gone even a little bit better for MVP had the Vengeful swapped the Batrider instead of the Clockwork there, just because Batrider got such an easy escape after that, but in the end everything still worked out. Death Ward was pretty nice with the Paralyzing Cast, but only killing a Vengeful Spirit in the end is just not quite gonna cut it there. And suddenly, they're pressuring high ground. Medusa, no buyback. Necro level 3 is out. Kinetic Field is there, but they know Static Storm has already been used. So that Kinetic Field did absolutely nothing.
Gotta scare them sometimes. They're going to put a lot of hurt into that tier 3, bring it down pretty swiftly. Cask, once again, providing some serious value for the Witch Doctor, but it's just not in a position where they can abuse it. So, it's very easy, very clean tier 3 tower. No chance for Raxes just yet, but hey, that's just step 1 complete for MVP. It's the power of their pushing lineup right now, and I mean, if they got a Chen, I can only imagine how much worse this could be. 4-5 Eva Miracle, though, he's gonna steal some enemy Ancients, and he does have an Omni Slash. I think with Heen's name on it, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Heen's name written all over that Omni Slash. That's gonna be 1 kill. He's gonna run into possibly a second, although 4Ev is more than happy to fight this one out. Miracle has Manta Style, so he can split out of this medallion minus armor, but it looks like he will not take enough damage to actually be too scared.
He's just so damn speedy with the Manta Style extra movement speed. Mask of Madness was also coming off in like 4 seconds at a time. So even though the Lycan in the shapeshift form is still faster than hasted people, it's just not going to be enough to get enough uptime to kill a hero as a Juggernaut. I mean, 1.5k health on the Juggernaut max, definitely not too little there. But wow, we have a Eul's Scepter Skywrath Mage. Is that just like another way to deal with, or cancelling the Death Ward, or maybe throwing off the Batrider or something?
Yeah, I think it's probably... I mean, it is all those things. Like, you could cancel the Death Ward, you could ignore the Medusa or ignore the Juggernaut, which in the right situation can be a lifesaver, but I think mostly it's going to be for that Batrider. You see him coming, you instantly Euls him up, and then suddenly the Skywrath Mage and the Vengeful Spirit are pretty hard into the anti-Batrider camp, and, well, Batrider is pretty sad off of that, so it's also just a good item for Skywrath Mage. He's a very mana-hungry hero, and Eul's Scepter does give him exactly what he wants. A ton of mana regen. Hookshot in, though, onto Blossom. Blink forward. Requiem being armed. Blossom amplified up by the seal as well. He has no hope here. He didn't even get the Stone Gaze off, did he? I don't even know if he did. Ysera, though, going to get the pullback onto MP. Not up to the high ground, however. Suddenly, Ysera's down on the low ground, and he's going to get swapped back. That's 2 kills for MVP, where it really should have just been 1. They get a second one pretty much hand-delivered to them. 40 seconds, where 5 Eva are not at their full strength. That means a free Roshan, and most likely a free Aegis for MP.
That lasso was really never gonna work, as mid lane Miracle gonna get used up. If they get the Ancient Seal, never mind, has the Manta Style. They don't get the Ancient Seal afterwards, and Miracle taking so much damage trying to TP out, and wow, he dies. Too many units from Forever, Necrobooks, Wolves, and well, they lose 3 heroes, plus they're gonna lose Roshan.
And that's just way too much damage. You have, what, like 4 units at the very least with that Howl bonus, and that in and of itself is just ridiculous damage output, but because they got that secondary kill on the Juggernaut, and at the same time where they got the Aegis, where it was, 40 seconds where they have an opening to do something, now it's another 40 seconds where they have to do something, and, well, last time they took down the tier 3 pretty easily. This time they're looking at Raxes. I don't know if they have enough to go for melee, although I typically do tend to underestimate how they're going to instead hookshot onto Chibix, who's already very low. Why are you so low, Chibix? Why are you there? He's going to get brought down, swap back onto the Medusa. This time she will get a Stone Gaze off, but will it even matter? No, they're going to kill her off before that she can get anything out except for that Stone Gaze. That's 3 kills for MVP. This is going to be almost the complete Raxing. I don't think 5 can actually do anything about this.
That Stone Gaze, first of all, didn't help Medusa, of course, as we see. But it also made it so that Lycan took 0 damage from that Flame Break, for example. Although I don't think it would have mattered anyway, it's just... like, even the other spells didn't do anything because of that Stone Gaze. And now, 1 Rex down, going for a second one as well. They force a Medusa buyback, and Medusa... he has now the net worth that she had like 5 minutes ago, maybe even more.
They need to get a good fight off of this buyback. If they don't, they're just out of this game. And, well, 4Ev's going to think about going for the Medusa. Gets chain stun a little bit by this cast. Going to be brought down all the way to MP. But still, Palossand is going to get swapped back. He doesn't have his ultimate this time. He's going to get annihilated. Static Storm is there. Omni slashing through. Will kill off the Vengeful Spirit. But at what cost? They're going to throw the Juggernaut up into the air. Xunbi going to do his best just to make sure Miracle is out of this fight. And with no mana, Miracle will be out of this fight. They'll take down the Witch Doctor. Now going to focus the Juggernaut, where 4Ev is still standing strong. He will go down in the end, but it's such a small price to pay. Juggernaut is going to be buying back into this fight, though. We'll get trapped in some cogs. We'll get silenced up. Manta Style split to the north side of those cogs. I don't know how that works, but Sunbi is still being chased down by a Batrider. Jerax, Eul's Scepter once again. Going to provide some value. It will be the Shadow Fiend to fall, and now with no backup, Shadow Fiend most likely will die again. The buyback for Medusa, even though 5 would get a good fight, I don't know if I can say that was worth it, because as you said, now she's just so low on the net worth compared to where she should be. Her Eye of Skadi is never going to come out, or at least it'll seem like it.
Yeah, she's just behind the Skywrath Mage in net worth now. That's how bad it is. They do save the secondary racks, so it may be worth it, because if you lose 2 sets of racks 25 minutes in, up against the Lycan, it may just as well be GG. At least if a team is that far ahead. Had they gotten second set of racks, I think third set of racks would have just even possibly been a matter of suicide yourselves for the racks. Bottom lane though, Miracle has to be a little bit careful. As long as he has the Manta Style, he shouldn't really die. But does not have the Omni Slash. Sunbi does have a hookshot though. Is he gonna go for it? He is trying to deny the tower, quite possibly. TP's coming in as well, the power cogs, such nuisance, and Miracle out of mana now, trying to outrun them with the Mask of Madness, but he should get blocked and can't even TP or anything, doesn't even have a TP.
Man, double cog bounce, again shutting down Miracle. That time it was a little bit weirder, I think, because he knew the cogs were there, but he just really wanted to kill that tower. Juggernaut's down for 80, and he doesn't have anywhere close to a buyback. It's not even on the timer for him. Palasan doesn't have his. If MVP get this kill over on mid lane, then I don't know what 5FA can do. Palasan is going to get Mystic Flared. Teleport out, though, is going to land, and Palasan's going to live. So 5FA have a chance at defending this upcoming push, but a very slim one.
That Mystic Flare, I think, was rather late from the Scarif Mage. Not entirely sure if it was on cooldown, but I don't think it should have been. Still, it's not all that bad. I mean, Medusa, yes, she survives, but they should still have plenty to just go high round with the Juggernaut being dead. And Juggernaut, he's even going for a Battle Fury now. Although, not entirely sure if he can even finish it up, but there's another hookshot gonna just force Polosan back. Forced after the wrong way though, blink forward from Keen. Gets the stun forever, wants to get some uptime with damage, and with the swap back, they should secure it or no. Kinetic Field keeps Lycan in place and Polosan does make it out.
Sarah gonna also drag 4Ev into the enemy fountain with the Death Ward and the fountain firing 4Ev. It's he got pretty far, but I don't think there was any escaping that. But even though they kill off the Lycan, they still don't have their full force, and they just lost their melee bottom. Glimpse back, it's gonna catch Jerax. That's nice, I suppose, but this guy's actually really tanky. He has a Eul Scepter as well. It's not exactly the hero that you want to be catching, even though, yeah, they will kill him off. It's such a small benefit to such a huge loss, and now they're 1.5 sets of Raxes down. And MVP, it's going to be 45 seconds where they can't really do that much, so they'll back off and farm, but 5FA, they can't do anything except for farm themselves, so they really can't abuse the fact that the enemy team will be only a 3-man squad for the next 30 seconds. They're just going to have to wait it out.
They did also manage to kill the Radiant Chicken though. It was just trying to deliver out the AC to Lycan, but Lycan of course going that deep, getting dragged into the enemy basement, easy courier snipe there as well. So they're not gonna have the AC for another 2 minutes, although don't think it's gonna just end up changing the end result of this game, I think. But then again, Miracle is getting more farm. Skadi close to being finished on Polosan as well, finally. So they're definitely by no means out of this game yet. MVP, they really shouldn't approach things as they have, just diving that deep. If they just play it casually, play it normally once for one offensive just strike, they should be able to just claim their last set of racks and kind of GG this out.
Yeah, it's a very easy way to lose a game that you should have won if you just think you're so ahead that you are going to go all the way into the enemy fountain for shits and giggles and then you get cleaned up. So if they just avoid doing that, if they can avoid the fountain's damage output, then they should be in a much better position. They're also going to get a free tower deny up towards top. It's pretty much just insult to injury right now. I don't even think that tower gold would be fully relevant to 5FA. They need like big items at this point, and Battle Theory on Juggernaut is a nice item to help clear out those creeps, but it's definitely not going to be comparable to the AC that's coming up on the Lycan or the Butterfly that's coming up in Shadow Fiend. Battle Fury tends to be, or when compared, will fall a little bit short.
Well, he's definitely still farming fast, so that's nice for Miracle. Level 19 also, which is the highest level in the game for now. So Juggernaut is getting scarier. It's still just the amount of units that MVP has as well. There is the Skadi also though on Medusa. So they're getting something going for themselves. Medusa has a level 3 Stone Gaze if she can ever pop it normally. Just because Medusa, she's really been the target of ganks so often now. Maybe has been a little bit out of position for a couple of them. But MVP now, they are somewhat grouped up, not smoking or anything. They just don't want to give away any unnecessary kills at this point.
Yeah, they could just go and walk in and take this 2-2 tower if they really want to. But yeah, I think it's probably the problem of picking up Batrider first that we're seeing here from 5FA. They really can't initiate effectively with Ysera, otherwise there'll be a swap. Because the Batrider can't initiate, that means the Clockwork is free to initiate, and the Vengeful Spirit with 2 levels of swap and a Blink Dagger is free to initiate, and then they can pick their targets. So 5FA, they need to be getting some initiation off, but it's simply impossible when you have 2 Eul Scepters and a swap to protect your allies from that lasso. Like, what could you actually do as Batrider? You need a BKB, but even then you have to deal with swap.
You probably just can't do anything. Maybe jump the Vengeful Spirit himself or herself. It's one way that some teams like to approach this. Just jump on the Vengeful Spirit, but if the Vengeful Spirit, especially with the Blink, she's just gonna stay far enough back and wait for somebody else to get jumped. But MVP now, they want to go push, but their Necrobooks are timing out already. They used it for the tier 2, which was completely unnecessary, to be honest. But Roshan is also gonna respawn in 50 seconds, so a rather fast one, just about 9 minutes in. And MVP, if they're just a little bit patient, they may even scout out Roshan and take another Aegis to just secure themselves the high ground. And I do believe it's going to be the third Roshan, right?
Yeah, it'll have a cheese, but if they do decide to go for Roshan, and they probably will, since, I mean, they're very far ahead right now, they're clearly capable of killing off Roshan very quickly, they've done it several times already. If they go into the Roshan pit, that's the best chance that 5EVA have at actually taking a fight, because Batrider's insane near the Rosh pit. Even though you may be swapped out of that lasso, if you can bring someone up to the high ground, it'll just mess with MVP for a couple seconds. They need a Force Staff or something to bring them down. I don't think they have that. They have one on Sunbi, but they have that, they have a Stone Gaze, they have a Death Ward, they have an Omni Slash and a Static Storm. If MVP go into the Roshan pit, they will be at their most vulnerable, and it'll be a chance for 5EVA to actually, take a team fight on their own terms. It's still going to be a very difficult team fight, since by raw numbers they're just so far behind, but it's much better than just sitting in your base and waiting for the inevitable push to come.
Oh, the timing for the smoke for 5EVA is perfect. They just got the BKB for Juggernaut as well. This just may be their moment here. Roshan is dropping pretty fast now that all of them are here, but BKB from Miracle. Oh god, 4M gets dragged over the high ground. Death Ward down from KS as well. Mystic Flare does do little to nothing to Polosan. Gets off the Stone Gaze. We've only lost one so far. There's the Juggernaut with the Omni Slash. You'll set their buys valuable seconds for Cherax, but they already lost two. Can they get a couple more?
Well, the Lycan is still shapeshifted in the background. Is he going to actually help out his teammates? Looks like he's instead going to go straight for the enemy base, but 5EVA take a 2 for 2. Their 2 supports for the Shadow Fiend in and of itself would have been worth it. Now they're going to try to steal the rest of this Roshan. Jerax is going to go straight into Polosan, though, bumped back by Ysera, and he will be going down here. Don't really know what the plan was there for Jerax. Miracle ignoring all of that, just going straight for the Aegis. Suddenly he has the Aegis, and someone on their team will probably have the cheese. Sunbi is also here for reasons, and I don't think he will be here for very long because he decided to suicide. That's pretty much exactly what I was talking about. Even though the Batrider brought the Lycan all the way, over the high ground, you probably should have just left him up there. It still worked out pretty darn well for 5EVA.
That was just weird, and we just also witnessed that Omni Slash, it can solo kill people so easily. It did do quite a number on the Scarf Mage, and Scarf Mage got the Yules on himself, which of course in return meant that now Shadowfiend takes all the bounties after that. So sometimes saving yourself means that you're leaving somebody else under the bus there. So Miracle, number 1 in net worth now, getting bigger and bigger, just finished his BKB before the fight, up to another 2.4k gold. If he gets now, let's say MKB, quite possible to just completely combat the Shadow Fiend. It's really MVP. Shadow Fiend himself doesn't really have all that much damage. Going for the utility items first, now having the Butterfly is finally some damage. But even then, he's not as scary if he doesn't get off like a massive Requiem of Souls.
Miracle is clearly capable of just man-fighting that Shadow Fiend. Even without the MKB, he did a pretty darn good job. If he gets a Basher or something, which might be a necessity, because MVP are going to feel like they could just suicide the Raxes, then Miracle's going to be able to man-fight the Lycan very well also. So Miracle is getting up there. The problem is that Medusa, she needs to be up there as well. Cheese is going to help, and she is very tanky with that Cheese. Like, she has, I want to say, like 5,000 worth of effective HP or something like that, probably more. But, yeah, she is going to take a lot of hits, but she won't really do that much damage. Miracle is actually going to be found out by 4EV. Miracle going to turn around for the man fight. Hook shot through, though. That's the Aegis gone. Now he's going to have to revive into a Magic Missile. He will have mana, of course, for everything. He does have Ysera to back him up, but Aegis, it didn't do anything.
Completely underestimating the just raw power of a Lycan there. Lycan, when shapeshifted, if he was close by on the Vengeful Spirit as well, and the Howl, of course, he was hitting for like 360 plus, and of course all the minus armor that they have combined. Juggernaut, you would think that he's great at man fighting, but it wasn't the case that time around. Still, it was only the Aegis and makes it out just kind of clean afterwards. But MVP, do they have a smoke on anybody? Do they even have any in the shop? Well, they have 2 in the shop, they just don't want to buy them.
Seems like they're okay with just letting the bottom lane and mid lane push in when they can, and they should be looking for, ideally, this top lane, mostly because they just took out the Aegis. They don't have that to worry about. You can't really effectively deal with Cheese in the same way, so they'll do what they can, try to get some map vision across the board, as the Vengeful Spirit is packing that gem for Heen, so with the Blink Dagger Phase Boots, he'll be able to de-ward and keep himself safe there. Maybe gonna run to Polosan. Uh-oh, there's a hook shot waiting this Medusa. Although the wolves are in the way, she's gonna grab a haste rune, now turn and fight over. Cog's gonna bounce her back. and they will instead chase to the right. No, they're going to catch Polosan. The Force Staff is going to keep her safe, though, from that Mystic Flare. MP going to get hit with the net, plus the Death Ward is being channeled. This time he goes up to the high ground. He has no way to get down from there. 4Ev also going to get turned to stone. Heen as well. Miracle is just firing away onto the Lycan, who's going to run out of that Lycan shapeshift form, and now I don't think he has anywhere to run. He should be going down. Heen is going to try to TP out from the cliff. He will get that one canceled. He's going to try to go for kill onto KS. He will get that one, but at the cost of his own life. That's a 4-for-1 in favor of 5EVA. Can they get the last one, MP? Looks like they probably won't be able to, but they take a gem. They take a massive team fight. And MVP, their 2 racks is up. They should not be losing these fights, but they are.
They should have backed off the moment that haste was picked up, and they didn't even attempt to go for the immediate hookshot into power cogs. The power cogs coming out and failing is like, yeah, there's a hasted Medusa. No way we have enough lockdown to kill a Medusa like that, especially that, well, I guess she used the cheese beforehand, right? Not entirely sure, but MP now gonna run into Miracle, uses the Eul Scepter, knows that the Omniscience is on cooldown, so it's gonna be safe, but never mind, Miracle, he's the one holding the cheese now. And, well, does get silenced. Mystic Flare as well. I don't believe they're gonna be able to just force the cheese, though.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, just trying to scare Miracle so that he pops the cheese, and then that's, you know, another Aegis-like effect down that you don't really have to worry about. But MVP, they just got caught by like massive team fight of 5EVA. Gotta remember that what MVP have in as far as pushing is concerned and what 5EVA lack, the 5EVA kind of make up for with just raw team fight. Plus on those gonna get hookshot on his TP out. He has no Aegis and he has no backup. Medusa down for another 80 seconds, and she just bought an Eagle Song. This is 80 seconds where MVP could actually make a push. They have everyone up. They have all their spells up as well. Well, Hookshot will be up. This could be potentially really bad for 5EVA if MVP actually mobilize quick enough and go for a push.
They of course have no way of knowing if Medusa has buyback or not, but it's still better to put it to the test, but just be ready to back off in case she does have the buyback. Top lane though, Jerax is eyeing out Miracle. He can't do anything by himself though. Scarf Mage now sees Miracle running towards him, runs away. Maybe just wants to be there to cancel the TP with the Eul Scepter, because if they can cancel that, that's going to be like guaranteed last set of racks.
Well, the Wolves are going to start things off. They got the Necro units on the floor as well, and, well, one is going to get turned to gold, so ching for Disruptor. But with no heroes being committed, MVP will almost completely kill off the tower. Hookshot in, going to catch KS. They're going to bump him back with those cogs, but at the same time, 4Ev is going to pull up to high ground. Swapped out by Heen, though. That might have just saved this push. 4Ev is now going to open on to this tier 3. BKB Omni Slash can do quite a bit of damage to everyone, but not enough damage to anyone. Miracle now out of that is going to try to book it. However, there's a very fast wolf that you can't easily run away from. Disruptor is going to get caught in the crossfire, will be going down. Ysera also silenced in the meantime. Medusa is going to return, but straight into Cog she goes. Miracle still doing his damage as Jerax is going to try to chase down Ysera. One more bolt, looks like that won't do it. They are also going to set up for Polosan. However, Stonegate's already turned MP to stone. 4Ev at half HP has to just turn and book it. Miracle is going to close in once again for a kill on the Lycan at the very least. Can they get the Shadow Fiend as well? Looks like they won't be able to. Still in the base, though, is Heen. For some reason, this Venge is going to, well, give her life away at the end of all of that. Ysera going to claim that kill. The Ancient is exposed right now, and the creeps are doing sizable amounts of damage, but the Raxes are still held. And with MVP only having 2 heroes, they can no longer push.
That's just so unfortunate for MVP, to be honest, although they didn't have a unified decision. Oh, another hookshot. MP doesn't get off a Requiem because it's on cooldown, and suddenly that fight isn't all that great for them. Polosan should still lose it in the end thanks to the battery assault. But now there's a Death Ward, paralyzing cast, Eul Scepter by some time. Sunbi gonna get lassoed and Death Warded down. MP can't chase down Polosan, and suddenly it's a full team wipe for MVP. Just going for such fights, it's way too optimistic. Top lane also, they couldn't make up their minds whether to actually go and fight or just go for racks. Shadow Fiend, he was there hitting the racks for the most part. Some reason was due to him being in the kinetic field. But had they just all gone for racks, could have been so easy. Get the supersized mega creeps and kind of be done with it. Now though, 5EVA, they still have a chance. Shadow Fiend does not have a buyback either. Can 5EVA take just counter racks from this?
Lycan's gonna be up in 10 seconds. They could take this tier 3 tower probably, but anything additional is probably not gonna happen. Heen is gonna blink right into something. I don't know what the plan was there. Miracle is gonna make short work of him. Miracle looking for someone else. Gonna get hookshot though. He has a BKB right now. Static Storm gonna give him a little bit of cover, although for the most part it will miss. It actually connects onto Sunbi. but they'll swap back Miracle. One more pause swipe will bring down the Juggernaut for another 90. Chibix is also going to get caught on the retreat. TP cancel with the Magic Missile. Sarah will make it out alive, but did 5 just counter throw this game? I mean, MVP have been taking such bad fights because they just can't take any better fights, but then 5 just lose 2 heroes.
Well, MVP they can't lose anymore because Skyriff Mage has a 100% winning just item build.
Literally can't lose.
Can't lose. Man of Chalk, best stats ever. Can't lose Skyrim. But Juggernaut did have buyback, so that's nice. Still has the Omniscience as well, didn't have to use that one. Although, it was a rare case where a Blade Fury kind of killed Miracle there because he got swapped and Blade Fury, which meant he can't Omnislash to buy additional seconds for his own lifespan. Dark Warrior also gets sniped. Rax slowly taking damage to the range ones though. Wolves gonna be kited around now for a little while. And what do you know? Roshan is up once again. Jeez, and Aegis this time around should go to MVP guaranteed.
Yeah, there's no way that 5 can actually get here fast enough to contest it, so Aegis probably for the Shadow Fiend, Cheese for Forev? Or, okay, Cheese for someone, and Forev is going to grab that Aegis. He's sitting on 4,600 gold, which can turn into something. I'm actually thinking Desolator right now for the Lycan, mostly just so that he could bum rush these buildings. Like, you can just go for, your MKBs, your Abyssal Blades, and those would be good, but right now the objective is take the Raxes, and as long as they don't get 5-man wiped while trying to kill off those Raxes, I think Megas are still game in favor of MVP.
Well, they do have buybacks as well on their core hero, so as long as he saves enough for buyback, it's going to be fine. As Forever, oh no, runs into free, gets off his shapeshift, nice swap from Hino. There's going to be a beautiful power cox, Mystic there on 2, force step out himself, Forever. Still trying to fight them, but has to back off in the end. Sunbi gonna go down to Miracle with his BKB activated, Stone Gaze as well, MP can't do anything in the backlines, and Forever is gonna lose his life on the Lycan, and well, that fight is just god awful for MVP.
They're gonna lose absolutely everyone except for Heen, who got out there pretty quickly. 4Ev is going to get brought down. He has BKB at 9 seconds, and it was available to him when he died. Not exactly sure why you don't use BKB there, although Stone Gaze would have cut through that, Last would have cut through that either way. It's still a 4-for-1 in favor of 5-Eva. That's like the 3rd or 4th 4-for-1 in a row for them. Still, the Lycan and the Shadow Fiend have buyback, so 5-Eva's ability to actually take objectives off of this one team fight is going to be pretty small, but man, they're constantly winning these fights, and Medusa, after every single fight that 5-Eva wins, is getting just a little bit more gold. Now she's sitting on Butterfly with another 1,600 gold in the bank. Medusa, it took her a very long time to get to this point, but soon she's going to be in that unkillable, I'm going to kill all of you at the same time kind of Medusa state that we all know and hate or love. But MVP, the point of their pushing was to avoid all of that, yet here we are.
Yeah, Miracle, he's even just going up against backdoor protection for a little while at this bottom lane. They're going to get the tier 2 even more gold for themselves. If only they manage to just force a few buybacks, it would be so much better for 5-Eva. But of course they don't. They do still get something out of it. It is just so hard to do anything. Yes, you keep on winning fights, but 2 lanes continuously pushing in. And the biggest thing is that the Ancient is completely exposed. So, like Boots of Travel, Lycan, suddenly you're gonna have to TP back because there's no way you're gonna win just a base rush if your Ancient is exposed like that.
Yeah, and also top lane is pushing in. It's something you have to worry about because 4F can do exactly this. Travel up there, shapeshift. He wants Megas right now, but a Rainbow of TPs will be there to stop him. He needs the BKB right now, but he will get last with Death Ward. Not that much damage going through because that is all crest, but suddenly everyone from 5F is here. 4F still with that max movement speed will die to an Omni Slash. He's down for 86, and the amount of damage he did, almost the range racks. Definitely not worth the dying there. So 5-Eva, now they're going to have a chance to force out the buyback of the Lycan. It was a nice move, I suppose. It's a desperation move if I've ever seen one, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But now 5-Eva, they're going to crack back, and I think this is possible for them to take down some Raxes.
Man, 5-Eva, they must have just balls of steel because they didn't even use the glyph there. I suppose they were like, okay, if the melee Rax are not in trouble, we are not going to use the glyph because range Rax, yes, if they fall, kind of bad, but it's manageable. But suddenly, 5-Eva now get the tier 3. They're going to get Rax as well. Lycan does not want to buy back, but Miracle pops the healing ward. They're going to go for the straight GG.
That's a challenge to buy back if I ever see one. Miracle is going to get pushed a little bit further into the Radiant base. Has to spin his way out, however. Heen's right on his ass. Cog's gonna go up. 4Ev also gonna get caught in Cogs and the Static Storm, but he can't really go anywhere. Polosan off to the side is gonna eat the cheese, now just firing off, but I don't know if he has enough damage out, but he needs Miracle to help out, but Miracle's stuck in the air right now. Vengeful Spirit so far the only casualty. Miracle thinking about going in, thinking better of it. Polosan completely out of mana, can't afford to continue this fight, but 5Eva, they take a really good one again, and they will take the Raxes and back off. They need to get back to the base because Lycan is going to be pushing the bottom lane. He's going to say, screw all of this. I'm going to go straight for the jugular right now. Can MVP get back to defend? MP won't be able to cancel out that first TP. Polosan, though, has his hands full. Juggernaut is going to try to spin TP. He'll make it out there as well. Looks like the Medusa won't, but 4Ev is going to get forced out by the Batrider Juggernaut. It will be enough, and this game is still possibly won by anyone. 4Ev, though, gonna try to turn on fight. Ysera is gonna run straight to Chibix, has a shapeshift, however, Glimpse is there, plus Connect Field, but here comes MP out of nowhere. Ysera is gonna be brought down. Now they're gonna go straight for Chibix. He's gonna die as well. Miracle, he's gonna try to close in and do what he can, but he has no more allies left. Double buyback from Medusa and Batrider, and we have the line drawn. 5Eva want to win this game right now with a straight push down the mid lane. Do they have enough for this? This is awfully bold.
This is probably their best chance though. I mean, the Ancients already exposed, Glyph, the fortification on cooldown. All they can hope for is that 4Ev doesn't have booster travels or that he doesn't have a target to TP to. Which of course, if he really wants to go up against backdoor protection, he can just send his own wolves and TP there, but they are readying themselves for a base just defense. 4Ev now doesn't have an additional damage item, which he could definitely need. Same kind of for MP and the Shadow Queen. But 5Eva, they can't wait for too long because the creeps will start pushing in, as we can see from this bottom lane. Oh god, it's just so ridiculously hard to be 5Eva at this point. They've held on for so long already, but it just keeps getting harder and harder, and especially now that they're going to lose the Batrider. Pops his BKB, but Eye of Sky still slows him down, and with the creeps helping out, they secure the kill.
That was Batrider actually blinking in. Had Polosan with the Haste Rune incoming, but he didn't expect MP to be there, and now the Eul Scepter onto the Medusa. They have a chance here because that does get rid of the Haste Rune. However, Medusa is outputting quite a bit of damage. MP, think about winding up the Requiem, will now do it onto Polosan. However, he will get Glimpse back. Eul Scepter will also make that Requiem do nothing, although it wouldn't have done anything, or wouldn't have done much in the first place. Polosan's going to chase down for Jerax. Mechanism going to be used to try to keep Jerax alive, and it looks like it will be just enough. Stone Gaze is there. MP going to get petrified. Polosan gonna turn around for a snake and then decide to just get the hell out of there. Off in the back end, 4Ev is chasing down Chibix. However, the Omni Slash is cutting through this wolf very easily. Will actually continue even through the swap. Juggernaut now up in the air. They're going to still try to go for Polosan, but this Medusa just won't die. Miracle is still alive in the backline. However, he doesn't have a clear target right now. He's going to try to go for Jerax. Now he's like in the corner. Death Ward from around the corner, though. KS is going to fully channel that onto Sunbi. MP blocking Jerax so that he can continue firing off, and Heen is there as well. KS still stuck in the trees, but MP standing strong right now. He will do enough damage. Force Staff out from KS. He will get himself out of there. MP, though, is now going to block off Polosan. Another Eul Scepter going to put the Medusa back in the air. Juggernaut, though, bought back, is rushing back to this fight. MP is going to flutter, and I think he will be A-okay. Well, I don't know what happened, but I think it was an even fight. Maybe? Hello?
Never mind, I'm not muted. It's all a lie, guys. It's all a lie. But Juggernaut, Spyback being on cooldown now is probably for MVP. Is like, if we can jump him somehow, kill him, we have the game for ourselves. Lycan, though, he barely made it out after getting Omnislashed, like you pointed out as well. The Omnislash followed him through the swap bot, the Vengeful Spirit there. So a little bit unfortunate, but did make it out alive. Had he just gotten home a little bit quicker and then booster travels into the enemy base, might have been enough to get those racks finally down. But now, with a hell of a lot of gold on Miracle, is going to go for a straight out Abyssal Blade. Is missing about 1k gold, but Buyback being on cooldown for another solid 5 minutes anyway, or almost 6. You're just going to buy out anything you can.
Yeah, for Miracle, he doesn't really have that much in the way of item growth. I mean, Battle Fury, at this point, you want a Battle Fury, so like even if he didn't have it, he would consider buying one just so he could clear creeps faster. Abyssal Blade, as you already said, and then, what then? Like, Butterfly would be good, but actually Miracle knows he's going to sell the Battle Fury, wants to get the straight up damage, wants to be killing heroes, not creeps. But Miracle's pretty much topped out. 5Eva, though, they still have Medusa, who's has a long way to go before she's topped out. She has a Demon Edge. I don't know if it's time for the Doctor to make an appearance, but I think this game might be approaching that state pretty soon.
If they don't win the next fight convincingly for 5-Eva, maybe he is gonna go for that one, but he's missing so much gold for it as well. So it would be definitely nice to see. It's been quite some time since I last seen one. But there is a smoke now. They're trying to be cheeky. As well, Polosan, he kind of gives away the smoke, and pinks come out by Lycan. And it's like, yeah, somebody was smoked. Be careful.
Oh, but Miracle's gonna wait for Ev. You retreat into your base. There's an Omnislash waiting for you. He's gonna try to shapeshift, but the Death Ward is there. Miracle will get interrupted a little bit by the Cogs. However, swap out will keep 4Ev alive. Heen will give his life for that, however. Will that be enough? Is that good enough for 5-Eva? They've taken down 1 kill, however, Lasso and Death Ward being used. At least they still have their Omni Slash so that they continue this push, and they're going to go straight for the tier 3s. However, the throne is exposed. Everyone in 5-Eva minus Miracle and Polosan going to try to TP back to actually try to defend this. The Shadow Fiend's going to go straight for the Ancient. I don't think he has enough damage right now, although it's going to be close. He's going to blink off to the left. Wolves are there as well as 4F. Miracle's going to return to this fight. They're going to try to bum rush this Ancient, dropping to half HP, 1500 HP. In the meantime, the Radiant Ancient is also dying, but just not as fast. 4F is going to do what he can, but he's sitting in Firefly, Maledict as well. He's going to go down. MP going to try to bum rush the rest of this Ancient. It's so close. He's going to die. That's everyone MVP down, and Polosan Chivik still in the Radiant base. Buyback from the Shadow Fiend. No one else on MVP has buyback. Can Shadow Fiend do it by himself? He's gonna get glimpsed right back to the fountain. Polosan is still firing. Chivix can't really fire that well, but MP gonna wind up for a Requiem. Maybe. No, he's gonna try to force out Chivix. Now the Requiem is there, minus damage. Gonna help out a little bit in this race. MP is frozen though. Can't do anything. And the Ancient, it's dying slowly. MP just doesn't have enough damage. Vengeful Spirit gonna buy back. Fortification comes back online. Polosan, now out of mana, has to run away. Blink Forward for MP is gonna kill off Chivix. Now he's gonna go for Polosan. Jarax is going to arrive as well. Miracle though, he's gonna go straight for the Aegis, for the Ancient rather. He's gonna spin, and I think he's gonna do it. Swap out from Heen, but the Illusions are going to kill off the Ancient. Yes! 5F have done it. They beat the game. They've beaten the video game.
I don't know how it happened, although I know some of it. He purchased a Desolator before going for the base trade, yet he didn't pick up the Desolator from his stash. I don't know why. If they had a Desolator minus armor on the Ancient there together with the Shadow Fiend, they would have been able to bring it down, I think, like guaranteed with the minus armor, but didn't go for it for an unknown reason. Maybe it was just a misclick, maybe he thought he has it in the inventory, not sure, but 5-Eva, they held on like troopers, and in the end, just turning around the game. Lots of back and forth. For a second, I thought they might even defend their own Rax MVP, that is, or Ancient. Not to be though, but this was only game number 1 of a best of 3 series, so we're gonna have hopefully 2 more games just like this coming up, guys. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with game number 2 in just a couple of minutes.